How's it going, everybody? Today I want to share a nice quick breathing drill that might help you with nerves in your next competition. How's it going? My name's James. I am a movement coach specializing in the brain and nervous system. I've worked with athletes trying to develop their skills as well as people managing chronic pain complaints and disabilities for a long time now. And it's my goal to bring some of the techniques and exercises I use in my job into the speed cubing community so we can test them out, try them out, and see if we can make speed cubing more robust from a physical standpoint rather than always just looking at hardware, technical knowledge, and things like that. So one of the big problems with competitions is no matter how hard you practice and train, nothing can really replicate the environment of like anxiety and pressure that you feel when you're going into a competition, especially if you're taking part in an event or a final, let's say, that is super important to you in some way. When you're training at home, you can try and replicate every single thing that's gonna come up in the competition. You know, you can try and sit at the same table, train at the same time as day, eat the same food you're gonna eat, add in as many different distractions as you possibly can, but competition nerves always seem to find their way in. And a lot of the time, this is just from kind of hyper arousal in the frontal lobe of the brain, where your stress levels shoot up and your mind is racing through a lot of what ifs and can I's that get in the way of smooth thought and smooth movement. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that every time I try to do a challenge, nerves seem to be the thing that get in the way for me. I wanted to tackle that, and I wanted to share with you the exercise that I give to most athletes when it comes to tackling nerves. This is going to help by, number one, increasing the fuel supply to the brain. So when we do get these kind of anxious thoughts and whatnot, we have more oxygen available to deal with them all. And I'm going to show you a drill where we can also practice it at the same time as cubing, which might actually help to simulate some of these anxiety-provoking nerves that come up in competition as well. So this exercise is basically all about your breathing. The goal here is to get more oxygen up to your brain, so essentially you've got more fuel available to deal with whatever tasks you have coming up. When you're dealing with nerves, more fuel to the frontal lobe of the brain means better emotional regulation and control, and that should help to calm the nerves down. The exercise is called an air hunger drill, and what you're going to do is basically a breath hold. But where a normal breath hold, you would breathe all the way in and hold your breath. We're going to do it the other way around. We're going to breathe all the way out, get all of the air out of your lungs, and then you're going to try and hold your breath from there. This way, you're going to find it's much harder to hold your breath for any meaningful amount of time. You're also going to find all of the kind of hyperarousal, anxiety, fear, etc. is going to creep up very quickly. So we can try out the exercise first of all. Take a nice deep breath in, followed by a really long exhale. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Get all of the air out, and when you've got none left, you're going to hold. You're just going to hold that for as long as you possibly can. I usually tell people you want to go for up to about 30 seconds. So you can keep going while I'm talking and see how long you can actually manage it for. However, if we're doing this for cube solving, we can do a nice little integration technique that is going to help massively as well. So rather than try and build this up to 30 seconds, what we can do is make the exercise more intense in a more meaningful way, and then we can do it for less time. The way we're going to do this is by doing the long exhale while solving a cube at the same time. So the rules are the same: deep breath in, full breath out, hold your breath, then you're going to start solving the cube. Now if your solve time is already below 30 seconds, you're just aiming to get one full solve of the cube in that air hunger exercise. If it takes you longer, then I recommend solving the start of the cube first, then taking the breath in and trying to finish it from there. The reason I recommend doing that instead of doing the air hunger for as long as you can and then breathing out and solving the rest of the cube is that your brain, when you see that the cube's almost done, if you're at the point where you feel like you really need a breath of air, your brain will actually push for you to hold on a little bit longer when it sees that another couple of seconds would get the exercise complete. And that's the exercise in a nutshell. You just want to practice this more at home. So rather than just doing it one time at home, I'd recommend doing an average of 5 with 2 breaths in between each solve. So you do your air hunger, 1 solve. You now have 2 breaths in and out to scramble up the cube and inspect the next one. You can make them nice and slow. Then you're going to solve again and just repeat that for 5 times. Try that daily, a week or 2 before a competition, and see if your nerves are just much better the next time around. If you have any questions about this drill or exercise, you can find me on Instagram. It's Cube Trainer, same as the YouTube channel. Any comments of how it went, please do let me know. If you find that it's really, really difficult, rather than breathing out and then holding your breath, you can also try this. Try to continuously breathe out for as long as you can while you're solving a cube. That is a nice regression. Otherwise, there's not much else to say about this one. Try it out, let me know how it gets on, and I'll see you in the next one.